On this week's Waypoint, we've got all the important changes for patch 5.3. What's up, guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap. I'm Gary Gannon, and I'm filling in for Kat Andrusko this week. Patch 5.3 is the big talking point today, but it isn't quite as big as we expected. No Veigar changes, no Mordekaiser changes, and no new AP item to fill the gap left by DFG. That's all been pushed back to 5.4, and it sounds like the new item could slip even beyond that. Riot are still in full agreement that mages do need more itemization choices, so hopefully we'll get that sooner rather than later. We were also expecting Katarina changes this patch to help her out after losing DFG, but Riot's data is actually indicating she's doing just fine. Ahri, on the other hand, is doing more than fine. With the removal of DFG and the changes in the last patch, she was pushed away from being an assassin and became more of a kiting mage skirting around the edges of team fights. In Riot's eyes, players don't have to take enough risks to get her damage out. So the cost on her Q is going up by 10 at all ranks, and the base damage on her Q is going down. More importantly though, the range at which her W and R acquire targets is going down by 100. That means she'll have to get in there that much closer to do the bulk of her damage, which makes her all that much more vulnerable. Another change for Ahri players is the spinning orbs on her W now spin 30% faster. That means if Ahri uses W at max range, the orbs will rotate into firing range that much faster. Moving on to Azir changes, turns out that after fixing a lot of bugs, he's an insanely strong champion now. So Riot are toning down his early game strength as well as his tower damage in this patch. The base damage on his Q is going down quite a bit. A big 50 at rank 5, which is much higher than we usually see getting nerfed in a single patch. Also, the attack range on his Sand Soldiers is going down from 400 to 325. Sacrificing Sand Soldiers to damage turrets now does significantly less damage as well. One buff Azir did receive was a small increase to his base damage, which should help him last hit much easier now. Next up, Diana is getting a little love in this patch. Her passive will now display the numbers of stacks as well as its remaining duration. And like Ahri, her W orbs got a rotation speed increase, which most of the time will be a DPS increase and not an overall damage increase. Next up, some Gnar nerfs. Apparently there was a bug making Mega Gnar last 4 seconds longer than it was supposed to. It's now down to the 15 seconds it was actually meant to be, and Gnar has to wait a whole 2 seconds longer before he can start gaining rage after reverting to Mini Gnar. In competitive play, he's still going to be a top tier must-ban or pick champion though. He is just so insanely strong. Next up, Kassadin is another very strong champion right now. Riot have made it clear the Riftwalker will be getting some significant changes in a future patch, but this time around he's losing 10 damage on Q at all ranks. Finally, on the champion front, Varus' ultimate now has a slightly increased missile width. Not the most exciting change in the world, but it's still a nice change. Sivir and Nocturne as well as Banshee's Veil all got pretty crazy bug fixes this week. Turns out spell shields when blocking a spell also blocked all other damage, including auto attacks and periodic damage. We're not sure how long that's been in the game, but it's pretty crazy. Farsight Orb now places a 60-second visible ward with just 1 hit point at the target location, as well as doing all the vision and champion tagging it did previously. Now before you get your hopes up, this is untargetable by allied champions. Greater Stealth Totem now stores up to 2 ward charges, gaining 1 charge every 60 seconds. The passive proc on Spectre's Cow got buffed from 100% base health regen to 150%. That is definitely going to be helpful in the laning phase or against a poke comp. Next up, another crazy bug fix here. Turns out inhibitors weren't taking the ability power bonus damage like towers do. So mages were just doing their base damage back to inhibs like Ryze would do with an all mana build. And Ignite, after many complaints, now interrupts champions attempting to recall. The technology is finally here. Good job, Riot. I want to take a quick second to show off a really cool League of Legends product we found on Amazon. Check out this awesome 10-piece weapon collector set. All the blades are metal and have a really awesome weight to them. They also come in a beautiful metal display box. You can use them as pendants, keychains, or for just display. By purchasing this item on Amazon through our link gboffer.com/LOL weapon set, you are directly help supporting this show, so thank you so much. That URL again is gboffer.com/LOL weapon set. That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. Kat will be back next week, and as always, for more video game news and content, head on over to GameBreaker.tv. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and share it with your friends on Facebook, and if you want more League of Legends content, recaps, and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LOL Nation TV. I'm Gary Gannon. You can follow me on Twitter @GaryGannon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Waypoint.